The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the cool new feature that we have for that we're working on that's going to make the report designer even smarter. So as most of our users already know, that .NET Report already has a very intuitive and friendly report designer where you can go in, choose the type of report that you want to do, choose a section and select fields, and basically then you can choose your aggregates and filters and create a report. So the designer is already very friendly, but what we're doing is we're trying to improve that even further and take it to the next level. We're calling it the smart report designer for now. Okay, well, I guess smarter report designer. Okay, so the idea here is that you can basically type in text and generate a report that way. So, for example, something basic, if I wanted to just get a list of all my customers. So, as I start typing, the system will automatically bring in fields to complete or autocomplete and give me hints. So, for example, if I want the first name for employee and then last name as well. So, it shows me these options. Let's say we also want the state where the customer is or the employee is. I can search and it will give me things like this. So I have two options here. One, I can process the query. What this does is it processes it using .NET Reports engine, and then process it. ChatGPT would also pass hints to ChatGPT based on the fields and stuff that you've selected, as .NET Report already knows the database structure, and it will try to generate a direct SQL query. Okay, so I'm gonna first do this with process your query using our designer. You can see that it just generated the report right there for you, right? If I turn on the admin mode, I can also see the SQL that it generated, just like always, right? So this is the SQL generated by our engine. The advantage of this processing is that you can actually, it all actually puts the report in the designer as well. So as you can see that you can go in and you can add other things. It just pulls it up into the designer. So instead of selecting fields manually, you could, instead of selecting fields in the designer, you could actually type it in here and it would populate it. And you have other options too, and I'll show that to you in a second. But you also have the option to save the report, right? You can just give it a name and save it in .NET Report, and it would just become another report in our system. Okay, so let me show you what process with ChatGPT does. So one thing is that with process with ChatGPT, you don't get the designer button, but you can see that it pretty much gave you the exact same result. And this is the query that it generated. It's almost the same, which is great. So whenever you want to do something new, you start over. And so we can do something more interesting where I can say something like, give me the date of order. So I can choose order date and sum of order totals. Let's say if we have a total field. So yeah, we can choose this order subtotal here, right? And you can see that it's from two different tables. I can process this query. Let's see what it does. And see, as expected, it gave me the order for each date, right? And beauty of it is that we can drill in and it basically is just a report in the system. So you can also do something like as bar chart. So it would actually plot it on the chart as well. And you can process your query here. And then you can see that it would put this on the chart, right? And you have the resize option just like you would have in with any other report. The other thing you can do is you can also open up the designer, and then you can see that it has the aggregate option selected, which is group. So you can do things like group by month, and then you can run this report. Again, you can check to save it, and then it would save it in the system. But you can now see that it switched it to a monthly report. Okay, great. So I'm gonna try and process this with ChatGPT as well, and you can see that it has. I mean, the designer button goes away, but it gave us the same result, right? You can also say group by for this month, for example, right? So the advantage of ChatGPT is that it can understand human text much better, and it would try to apply filters this way, right? So you can see that it just did it for this month, and if I go look at the query, it automatically added this month here. So so this is basically what we're trying to do. That's next. That's coming for .NET Report, and as you can see, that's pretty exciting and a very useful feature. And hopefully, this would make it even easier for users to create reports and use